live from the multiverse, whatever one you want it to be. It doesn't matter. It's the Geek Show.
Oh, hi, I didn't see you there.
Hello.
Sorry, just start the show. Let's There we go.
Am I doing the prop right? Am I doing it right?
Well, you're supposed to look
What
like
you got
you're
there?
like you're preoccupied. You know,
Oh,
so
okay.
like,
Oh.
see, it's like I'm busy reading a comic book, and then
Yes.
the show starts, and you go, "Oh, I didn't see you there."
Okay.
Reading my water bottle.
So for more lessons like that and 100,000 more, please subscribe to our masterclass on Vimeo. It's $100 million. We just need one person to do it once.
That's all.
Just one.
Hopefully, you're watching on YouTube. Sight gags. Sorry. If you're just listening to the podcast, welcome.
We hoard the books.
Sounds of a crackling fire.
Oh, was it the AMSR edition?
Yes, she is our AMSR queen. She is Rebecca Frost.
ASMR.
ASMR.
Hey, don't
Letters.
don't let people know what my TikTok for you page is all about.
I watch all the time.
Yes.
Or listen.
He listens all the time. Quad T, Too Tall Tony.
I'm always listening.
He's like Santa.
It's kind of
I'm
creepy,
like
isn't it?
Santa.
Or the elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
Very big elf on the shelf.
The narc on the shelf.
Oh.
Elf
Yeah.
on a table.
He is a very big elf on a shelf. He is Robert Neal.
Hello.
And does Elf on a Shelf have feet? Because I thought I saw a
Yes.
picture of one where
Yeah.
it doesn't have feet. Okay.
Oh, you mean the
all
Rob
right.
Liefeld edition?
How
must
else
be.
is he walking around? Narking on all the children.
Magic. Just
Stumps.
I think it depends on the house. Like, some people would be like, all right, Elf, you've been misbehaving. Time for new feet.
it turns into misery.
Yeah.
He will remove your feet if it needs to happen. It's Lee George Cade.
Yep. I'm not afraid to take a foot, as opposed to our host, Mr. Kerry Jackson, who's afraid of feet.
I am afraid of feet.
Yeah.
That's where
Like vertical, or?
Tarantino and I are,
No, you're polar opposites. He loves the feet.
Yeah, he likes them.
No, Kerry's just always afraid that if he's taking a shower with another guy, that their foot's going to get in his face.
that. Yes.
That's what he's afraid of. Yep.
What?
It's athlete's foot, and it's a real problem. Okay.
Yes.
I'll have you know.
He wears
Let's
flip-flops at the gym shower.
absolutely.
If you don't wear flip-flops at the gym shower, you're an animal.
Joke's on you, I don't shower.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you don't go to the gym.
Joke's on you. I don't go to the gym.
She doesn't update her software, and she doesn't shower. All right.
That was a
No,
good
I
I'll
would
never
go-
update to Windows 11.
I will
Die
go to
first.
I would go to the gym more, but I feel so inadequate whenever I go in there because our gym memberships at the Rose Park Rec Center, and there's all these like really, really strong Latin American men who are just like, they're just like, get with it, guy, and they're trying to help me, and I just feel inadequate the entire time.
Bro, do you even lift?
Yeah, but it's in Spanish.
Oh, I don't know how to say
Hermano.
it.
Hermano.
Yeah, Tony knows.
Pues, levanta?
There you go. Thank you.
No, no levanta.
Let's begin. And again, this is a visual, so I hope you're watching on YouTube. But if not, look it up. Let's end the popcorn bucket wars. Let's end it with the Nosferatu. This is the popcorn bucket. Did you get a picture of the bed?
What do we got there?
No.
That is the bed.
That's not the bed. That's the popcorn
The
bucket.
bed is full of popcorn, if that's the
As
case.
you can see.
But that's what he sleeps in.
He
Yeah.
sleeps in popcorn? I thought you had to sleep in, like,
No,
dirt
this
from
is
your homeland.
This is an actual Nosferatu sarcophagus bed that is for sale.
Then that is monster-sized popcorn.
Oh.
And
I was so confused because I was like, Carrie, we've talked about the popcorn bucket.
well, yes, that's why we're talking about this, the bed.
Oh.
Thank you, Rebecca. Very fast.
A true
Isn't that
clawfoot
the same
bed.
thing with the lid on?
It is essentially, but this thing is it's now the bed wars. I'm done with the popcorn bucket wars. It's now about the bed wars,
Okay.
and it is the Nosferatu sarcophagus bed, which is available. It is over 250 pounds.
Oh, wait,
many
this is
thousand?
real bed size.
It is an actual bed. It's over 8 feet long, Tony.
Hey, I can fit.
It costs more than a Subaru. It's like 20 grand.
Good Lord.
Well, used Subaru, I guess.
Look, if you want a Dracula sarcophagus, just become a Dracula hunter. They're free afterwards. You kill a Dracula, you take their bed.
That's right. That's just the
Yes.
law.
You just strap it on the Subaru and drive it home.
Handcrafted from premium materials, including a wooden base and intricate carvings, these highly collectible sarcophagi also feature a distinctive interior with a custom-fit mattress and foam lid for easy opening at sundown.
Boo.
Does it have rich Corinthian leather? That's all I
It
want to know.
does not.
It's
But
human
It
skin.
needs to be filled with incontinent rats like it was in the real movie.
Does it have matching sarcophagi for my brides?
It's available at the NBC store,
But
and it won't arrive
NBC.
it won't arrive until after Christmas, unfortunately.
So you can get this and a Friends mug.
For your
A
nightside
cup
table.
holder
Yeah.
for the bed and the mug.
yeah, it's NBCstore.com is where you can find it. So
I was going to say, is this like in 30 Rock? You just go to 30 Rock, you have the gift shop, and then there's the sarcophagus shop.
Yeah, you
next
get a
door,
Friends mug. You can get a Seinfeld mouse pad
and a sarcophagus.
and a sarcophagus.
sarcophagus bed.
I mean,
So-
effectively, aren't all sarcophagi beds for the dead?
Isn't the
eternal slumber?
I need
Is it
our
a bed if you never get out of it?
well the sarcophagus isn't that the thing that you put the coffin in?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
thought
what I
it was
thought.
the
I'm not a
coffin itself.
sarcophagus doctor.
Sarcophagus. A coffin goes in the sarcophagus, and the sarcophagus
What
goes in a
is
crypt.
In the crypt.
Or the tomb.
Oh, so it's like a turducken. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I've Googled it. Sarcophagus is a coffin, usually made of stone, that's often decorated with sculptures or inscriptions.
Oh, so it is a coffin.
Interesting.
Okay.
Whatever.
TIL.
Then why don't we just call this a coffin instead of a sarcophagus when you're doing
it's
a
a
Google search?
particular-
Because it's a stone coffin.
Oh, stone coffin.
Rebecca, since you've got it Googled really quick, what is the origin of sarcophagus? Does it come from Egypt
Good
or
golly. Okay, let's see.
Miss
Hold on.
Molly?
History of the sarcophagus. Used by Egyptian pharaohs of the Third Dynasty. The earliest was used in
That's it?
Egypt. Yeah.
There you go.
And then
That's
Greece.
enough learning for today.
Enough learning.
Rebecca, since you have Google up, could you check up the 14th century sarcophagus use in Romania?
14.
Particularly the southern Carpathian
For sale?
Mountains.
What? Google autofilled 14th century sarcophagus for sale.
Oh, there you go.
Ancient
link back to
Egyptian
NBC?
sarcophagus sale, $395,850.
Pocket change.
It's in
pittance.
stock, you guys.
Belongs in a museum.
At the NBC store.
It
Oh,
belongs
he's
with the indigenous
cross-eyed.
people who originally...
Look at him. He's cross-eyed.
Let's see. Oh, my.
He is
That's-
extremely cross.
That's unfortunate.
That's what they're going to bury that girl from Riverdale in.
Oh, it's on
Skull
sale,
store?
you guys.
Okay. For the
Black Friday. Black
Death
Plague Friday.
Yeah.
all right. Let's quickly get some housekeeping, and then we'll get to. There's so many trailers that debuted, so let's get to it. Of course, GeekShowGotThisCovered.com is the link to our Patreon. You can support the show however you'd like. You know, at $1 a month, that'd be great. Tree Fitty gets you access to the after party where we continue this show afterwards. We get the Space Show early. I'm going to be making some videos here very soon for the Patreons. And a lot more stuff is on its way there at GeekShowGotThisCovered.com. Also, Geekshow.store, which is where I got my shirt.
Whoa.
We
Looking
don't sell
good.
we don't sell plundered burial goods there.
No,
Our
we
store.
don't.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
But soon this shirt will belong in a museum. Anyway, it's amazing how quick they are getting these shirts out to you. I ordered it on a Monday, got it on a Thursday.
Nice.
Boom, like that.
Considering the printing press is in your garage and your wife makes the shirts, I'm surprised it took her that long.
Shh, she had errands to run. Shh.
Dude, where's my shirt?
It's really cute. 'cause
Where
your
is
dog,
my super suit?
It's cute because your dog always takes the shirt off the press. And
Yeah, I
it's-
know.
Yeah.
It's adorable. All
And then
right,
he says, it's a living.
let's get to the trailer.
Sorry, I'm watching our chat. There's a huge debate going on about different burial things.
Oh, good heavens.
Yes.
Freaking nerds.
We did it.
This is-
Mummies aren't inside a coffin, inside their sarcophagus. It's sarcophagi. I'll have you know.
unless
Listen, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
No, we're done.
No. Guys, this is the Geek Show podcast. Nerd Show podcast is one show
Yes.
over.
That's over
If
there.
you want to talk about dead things, we can talk about dead
let's
things.
talk about this dead things because
I thought you were going to talk about the new Lord of the Rings animated movie because that was DOA.
Womp womp.
did anybody watch this trailer for 28 Years Later?
I
Yes.
did. It's
Oh,
spooky.
okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to say it. Best movie trailer of the year.
Wow.
There is a real art to editing a movie trailer, and this one is very good.
Well, here's the
is it
thing.
Danny Boyle?
You could just listen to it. You could just listen to this trailer, and it would scare the shit out of you. It would. This thing was, take lessons from it. People who make movie trailers, take lessons.
I don't want to.
Just listening to it got me
Hyped.
not hyped, but it upset me. It got tension, lots of tension.
Are you ready to see the first look of Cillian Murphy? There he is.
That's not him.
That's not him.
That's
They
Cillian Murphy.
That's
said-
not.
they said it
Straight from the set of Oppenheimer.
No, that's Peter Murphy from Bauhaus.
It sure looks like him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And still good looking. Anyway.
Yeah.
In the clip we see it starts out just beautifully where all these kids, there's like 8 of them, and they're in a TV room watching the Teletubbies.
Because it's Britain. Do not forget it's in Britain.
It's on an island in Britain. It looks like a beautiful British suburb, the typical thing. And then mom comes running in and she's got some blood on her and she's like, hide, hide, hide.
Jeez.
And all the kids scatter.
Well, that's how you know
all the
it's
28 movies in the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just amazing. I encourage you to go and watch this trailer and
It's
listen
Craven.
to it because
What's
it is
what's the
Craven.
thing that the lady's chanting?
That is a poem by Rudyard Kipling called Boots.
Yeah.
And this was recorded in 1915, and it's an actual recording of a performance of this Kipling poem.
Gotcha.
And they just stuck it in there, and that's what makes the tension, because of the way that this person is delivering the lines, and the cuts in the film, and it's just it'll give you nightmares. The trailer will give you nightmares.
I
I'm telling you right
can't
now.
wait for you guys to see this and tell me what you thought.
I don't know why you won't get on board with fast zombies.
Because,
Unless they're on a
Rebecca,
train.
I really do believe the possibility of zombies is real. So you make them fast, and I'm just like, I know people who have literally said, if the zombie outbreak happens, just shoot me now, right? And I'm like, I'm fine. I actually know my zombie stuff. I'll be okay. But then you throw fast into the whole thing, and I'm just like, well, no, shoot me now.
Have you
Well, the
tried being
zombies are also
faster?
furious.
Yeah.
But now here's a question. I don't think it's zombies, is it? It's the rage virus, right?
Yeah, because Danny Boyle
What
refused
is-
to call them. He refused to call them
is-
zombies.
Yeah.
So they're always that they avoid. He said we specifically avoided the Z word, so it is the rage virus.
Well, a virus that creates mindless cannibals is
So
still...
I guess like the same logic behind like the creatures in The Last of Us aren't zombies.
They're spores.
Infected.
They're
Yeah.
infected.
Infected,
Yes.
yes.
All right. So anyway.
Zombies.
I don't
Well,
think
like-
they ever say the word zombie in The Walking Dead either. They say
They don't.
Zombies.
they say walkers or
They say walkers or the dead.
Zombies. So
Yeah.
all of them are just trying not to pay royalties to the person who created the term zombies, which is the island of Haiti.
Well,
I was
this
gonna
is
say I don't think it's been trademarked.
what's
Why
that?
Haiti?
Lee, do you remember that movie?
Serpent in the Rainbow.
Thank you. All right.
Wow.
You guys
A
like
little
you've been friends for
brainwave
decades.
sharing.
You see, I was projecting out the image of the actor in the coffin where he's saying, "Don't bury me. I'm not dead."
You also get to hear what it sounds like when a man gets his testicles nailed to a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. Anyway, okay, we're going to use the word zombie now in this next trailer. I want you to watch.
Christmas tree.
I want you to watch this trailer as well. This is a new Return of the Living Dead zombie film. Now, this is not a sequel. It's
But
kind
it
of a.
says return in the title.
I know,
I love it. Yes.
because it's the from 1985 is when the Return of the Living Dead debuted, and it'll be the 40th anniversary.
Oh God, no.
But this one I want you to watch before
That means
Christmas.
That means I'm 40 next year. Ooh.
Exactly.
Oh, you
All
sweet
my
summer
friends are
child.
turning 40.
Because the interesting thing about this is that it's Living Dead Media. They confirmed that the project is not a reboot of the original, but a new installment of the beloved horror comedy. It says takes place in a small Pennsylvania town, 1985, 18 months after the events of the original film.
Okay.
All right. But what's great about this is it's Christmas themed. There's a zombie dragging a Christmas tree through a cemetery.
He's
And how-
festive.
Okay, hang on a sec.
Mm-hmm.
1985. How is that tree still lit? He's dragged it
That-
away
It's
a very
from
long
the
extension
plug.
cord.
That's in the trailer.
Is it
Because that
really?
was my question too. So go
Cool.
watch.
You got me.
And the other thing about this is that they say they're not going to use CGI or green screen.
Good.
They're going to use
And
real
they're not
zombies.
going to use CGI or green. They're going to use AI. It's going to be all ChatGPT.
It's
And I'm
it's-
not 100% sure on this one, Eric or Egfu. I don't think Romero was involved in any
No.
of the Return of the Living Dead movies.
No,
I
those
think
were-
those are the night of Living Dead.
But anyway, yeah, they're going to use all practical effects on this. So it'll be next Christmas. I gave you my heart.
Gave you my heart.
Oh, sorry, I just looked
very
it up. It
next day.
actually
Both of you
Shoot it.
stop it.
It actually started as a dispute between George Romero and John A. Russo. Romero's movies went on with the established canon, whereas Russo went off and did the comedic canon. So Romero's never been involved in the Return of the Living Dead movies, but it did start with Romero.
They
and
were
his
made
partner.
to spite him.
Yeah.
So go and watch that and get in the Christmas spirit. All right. Another trailer that dropped this week was we got a new extended Section 31 trailer.
Yes.
It's so good.
Isn't it, though?
Is very good.
And is the brunette lady Rachel Garrett?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am
That is
excited.
that is
And Lee, people were so mad.
Yeah, whatever. Those kids can go to hell.
Why were they mad?
Why do you think, Carrie?
Oh,
because
it's women.
Because it's different.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and canon. And what about canon?
It's timey-wimey. We had the Guardian of Forever that got us here, okay?
It was
It's
so stupid.
So,
It was so
Rachel-
stupid.
Rachel Garrett is such a cool character full of so much potential, and we had one episode of her in Next Gen, and she's so cool. And I mean, this is a lady who said, you know what? Yeah, okay, we're all gonna die. Let's get back on our spaceship and go do what we were destined to do. And then so yes, she belongs. She need more show with her.
The
Very
comment
excited.
the comment I did see about this trailer was this doesn't even look like Star Trek.
Whatever.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why it
Yeah.
looks so freaking cool.
Yeah, God forbid it's different, you know.
Your mom doesn't even look like Star Trek, and you still like her.
One of
I
my
hope.
favorite things is when they take stuff from the Star Trek universe that isn't necessarily super closely tied to what you normally get from Star Trek and expand on what else is going on in the universe
Kind of
besides
like
one ship story, you know?
kind of like seeing a suburb in Star Wars.
Shut up.
Kind of like that.
I think the other problem is this show has a lot of hate carrying over from people who just can't wrap their brain around Discovery being a good
Yeah.
show.
Exactly.
You know, I'm sorry, there's a black woman in charge. I can't get behind this. Meh.
But the this looks like a lot of fun. It's the birth of the you know, how do we compare it to something that people would understand? CIA of Starfleet.
No, it's basically the
Secret
like SEAL
intelligence.
team or
Yeah.
Delta Force. So basically, yeah, secret intelligence, like Rebecca said.
Okay.
And they hate James Tiberius Kirk.
Yes.
With well, I mean, who doesn't?
Because he's ruining everything all of the dang time.
Yes.
Literally at one point they say we don't talk about James Tiberius Kirk in Section 31.
Yeah. But anyway, this premieres on Paramount Plus January 24th.
Wait a minute, Lee, was it Section 31 that said that, or the time?
Time Adjustment Bureau.
No, whoever the time
Time variance
cops
authority.
are,
Time cops.
I don't remember. It's been decades.
because I think it was that Trials
right.
and Tribulations, wasn't it?
Yes.
You're right, Rob. Yeah. And it's a special division of Section 31, the Time Police
Whatever,
or something like
A
that.
Egg
subdivision
says time-
within Section 31? We got
Egg says-
subdivisions all the way down.
Time traveling strike force. is
Time
what Ed
traveling
said.
strike
Is
force?
that right?
No.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound right.
If Doctor Who had Marines, in the TARDIS.
There you go.
They do. What's Torchwood?
I loved Torchwood.
What's Torchwood? Torchwood is horny. That's what
Yes.
Hornwood.
Hornwood.
Yep.
Let me write that down. Hornwood. All right. Another trailer that we got this week. Yes.
Yeah.
Our favorite couple. Harley Quinn Season 5 trailer dropped.
Yes.
And apparently they're moving from... Gotham's been ruined, from what I can gather,
Many times over.
in the trailer. And they've decided to move to Metropolis because it's just nicer.
I think
now there's
it's
It's just
such a
across the
good
river.
move.
It's just across the river in Delaware. Why not?
Sure, why not?
I think it's a very good move.
But it was an extensive look at Season 5. It launches on January 16th. And, of course, there's all kinds of chaos. You get Lex and Lena Luthor in there. You get Lois Lane in there. You get some Superman. You get the occasional apocalyptic invasion. Brainiac drones. You get all that stuff in there. So, yeah.
You had me a
The return of our
Brainiac
friend Bane.
Bane is back and Clayface, who we'll talk about later in the show.
Clayface.
Yes. So go and watch that. Another trailer, Tony, that we got was Invincible Season 3.
Oh, yeah.
March 13th is when this premieres on Prime Video. The first 3 episodes... Oh, no, wait. The first 3 episodes on February 6th, followed by a new one every week until March 13th.
You know, I read enough of this comic. He should change his name to Vincible.
Vincible.
Because he gets his ass kicked a lot.
A lot. And that's what makes the name so funny.
After accidentally killing Anstrom Levy,
yeah.
Mark's back to work with Cecil and focusing on being his best superheroic self. And just when it seems he's got a handle on things, he's not too happy to learn that Cecil's made D.A. Sinclair produce his Reaniman to fight off the eventual Viltrumite invasion. That's a lot of words, right?
I love all those words, Carrie. I love
Yeah,
them.
am I having a stroke?
No,
Those words
These
are
are-
fake.
these are things, and they are spectacular.
Things come to a head when Cecil decides to try to put Mark in his place, but Mark won't make it easy for him.
Would have puts Mark in a corner.
And the only one without much fighting spirit is Omni-Man, who's in the Viltrumite prison in space and, saying, I'm a bad person and I should, take my punishment.
He's sitting there with Alan the alien.
Alan
cell
the
next to
alien,
him.
yeah. And apparently his half-brother Oliver has decided to join the family business as a superhero. The purple kid. Now, is all this sound, because you read the comics, Tony, all this sound...
This is all going along with the comics.
All right, there you go. So that's February 6th for Invincible Season 3. Another trailer we got.
My God, it's like Christmas for trailers.
I know, right? Severance Season 2.
Finally.
Exactly. Picking up in the immediate aftermath of Season 1. Mark S., or is it Marcus, and his fellow Lumen Innies find themselves surprisingly not in trouble for becoming unsevered, because you remember at the end of the first season. If anything, they're celebrities at the company, but it's impossible for them to bask in their new status now that they know about the severance process.
I'm so glad this show's coming back just in time for me to have lost all interest in it.
Well, it's January 17th.
Oh, I'm there. 100%.
Yeah, 2 years after it first.
That's
Do you
true.
think Leslie Knope still loves Ben Wyatt now that he looks like everybody's grandma?
Yes.
Absolutely, she does.
Age comes for everyone, Lee.
I know.
Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
But we also in the trailer get looks at some new people that work at the corporation. Aaliyah Shawkat, Gwendolyn Christie, and a bunch of other new players that will be joining this season. So I'm okay.
The
How
drop
about,
ceilings are so low. How can Gwendolyn Christie fit in the office?
It's been a good week for Aaliyah Shawkat.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. This was the information that dropped this week that I had to... I didn't report until I wanted confirmation, and then James Gunn tweeted about it, and that's good enough for me. We're getting a Clayface movie.
From?
Mike Flanagan.
So, okay.
They're going to do a horror Clayface movie. I mean,
Which
the
they
character's perfect for it. Don't get me wrong. But when everyone was like, "Oh," when the rumors started, "Oh, Clayface movie," blah blah. All I thought to myself was, go back and watch the first episode with Clayface from Batman the Animated Series, and see how cool of a character that they can do with
And
a cool
please-
story they can do with that character.
Please set it in the 40s because, like,
Cape Crusader.
When I loved the idea of him being this C-list horror movie actor that just wants so badly to be taken seriously, and then becomes Clayface, and then go ahead and put him in, because I don't think Clayface can die. Go ahead, put him in the modern day.
What if it's
Yeah,
what if it's
not
just
age.
another season of Barry?
I'd like that too.
I mean,
Barry.
if Barry wasn't dead at the end of Barry, I would say yes, but.
But apparently Mike Flanagan is too busy to direct, so they're looking for a director.
Although,
So
I
he's
mean,
just writing?
even if he writes it, that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Rebecca?
busy on his
still work.
other stuff, his Exorcist stuff and his Carrie stuff and all that other thing. So he's got
I've decided Rebecca and I are directing it.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we could do it.
Yeah.
Anything to get me in the room with Mike Flanagan.
There you go. Let's see. Another little bit of DC news that dropped this week was we got word from Aaron Pierre talking about his Green Lantern character.
Nice.
They're getting ready to shoot this thing, and he is your John Stewart. And here's what he had to say. He says, "I'm not really. I wasn't too familiar with the comics. I'll get around to watching the Ryan Reynolds Green
Oh, that's
Lantern."
okay. You don't have to.
To which I think the interviewer said, "It's okay."
Really, you don't really need to.
He has,
If you want.
Fine,
but
sure.
he is thoroughly schooled on another depiction of the Green Lantern. He says, "Justice League Unlimited
Yes.
might have been my first introduction to John Stewart."
I owe you a Coke.
He said the Cartoon Network series Justice League ran from 2001-2004, featured Kevin Conroy as Batman, of course. But another voice acting legend, Phil Lamar, was John Stewart.
Holla.
Conroy and Lamar starred in Justice League, follow-up Justice League Unlimited, which ran from 2004 to 2006, right about the time that Aaron was 10 to 12 years old. So there's perfect
Spot on.
timing.
Which means he would have also seen him on Static Shock as well.
And so he said that's kind of what I'm going to channel, because that's the Green Lantern I know.
Great.
And he was talking about trying out for Green Lantern. He says, "I was just locked into giving the very best version of that I could, of this beautiful character, in the rigorous audition process. I'm a firm believer that what's meant for you won't miss you. So I gave my best and then set it free, and now I've been gifted the opportunity to bring this beautiful character to life. Hopefully I will serve John Stewart."
Wow.
Love.
Okay.
So
I'm
there
in.
you go. That's encouraging.
I mean, I was already in, but I'm in.
Yeah. Exactly. No, we're double in. Rob.
You're more
We're double in.
You're more so in.
I am more so in. But I mean, when they announced him to begin with, I was just kind of like, it was right after I watched Rebel Ridge. I'm just like, yeah, okay, done. Check. Put him in the suit.
Yep, that's where I got convinced when I saw Rebel Ridge. Let's see. Other news of this whole Doomsday movie
What the heck is going on here?
is shaping up to be something I think wonderful, to be quite honest with you.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Because, I
He
mean,
even looks like Clark Kent. What the hell? The Doomsday movie.
we're getting RDJ as Dr. Doom, of course. But it's been announced this week that 3 other Avengers actors are joining this movie. Yes. And we don't know who they're playing. Chris Evans is back. We've also got Peggy Carter, our little Haley Atwell. She's coming back. But we also have Anthony Mackie.
They're all playing Doctor Doom.
No, they're all playing Kang.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, it's interesting, and we could do a whole ton of speculation on who's going to do what. I'd love to see Old Man Rogers as Commander Steve Rogers from S.H.I.E.L.D. Peggy, I would like to see as the older Peggy Carter that we saw in, I can't remember whose run of Captain America it was, who's still kicking ass in her like 70s and 80s. So a little, and Anthony Mackie, I would love to see him as Disco 70s Falcon. Honestly, I just think that would be just hilarious.
I think Mackie is coming in
As Cap.
directly after this next Captain America movie as Cap. But do you remember, Robert, that there was a brief run of Captain America where Cap was agent of Hydra?
Yes. Oh, the Steve. Mm-hmm. No, was it the Rick? No, it wasn't the Remender run. Steve. Crap, can't remember his last name.
Yeah,
Roger.
Yeah.
Steve crap.
Steve. Crab.
The writer's name was also Steve. I just cannot remember his last name.
But
But we also know that Esteban did not die. He just left. He said, "Here's a shield. I hope you're worthy," and he wandered off into the sunset. So yeah, old man Commander Rogers could be there.
Yeah.
I just don't want Hydra Cap to come back because I've got a friend who gives me shit about it all the time, and I just don't know if I can go through another day of that.
Still to this day.
Yes.
What
a
if?
Hydra Cap? Oh.
Because I
What
love
if-
Captain America so freaking much, and he's always like, Captain America's a Nazi. And I'm like, shut up. Leave me alone.
What if we get Peggy Carter from What If?
That's what
I
I
would love
want.
that. Yeah.
That's what I
Yes.
want.
Oh,
Do
we
we-
had
do
we had
we-
that
The
in Doctor
captains
Strange.
team up. All of the
Do
captains
we
team up.
worry that this is falling down the same slide of Star Wars where we're unfortunately going to trap ourselves into the only way these movies can be successful is if they rely heavily on nostalgia?
Well,
Or
we're already there,
suburbs.
I think.
No? Okay.
I don't know.
I would love to see it. Another option is if we're doing this from Doomsday, which I can't remember, is that before or after Secret Wars? Because if it's after Secret Wars,
It's
it is
before Secret Wars, yeah.
They could do it as a lead-in where Doom has theoretically started gathering worlds together. So we do get a Anthony Mackie Captain America with a Steve Rogers cap in his prime from a different Earth with Captain Carter.
Think about
I-
that.
I think where I've been struggling actually with the Marvel movies in general lately is, yeah, I want this Cap, but also in the comics, like, none of these characters die permanently, right? So when you have a contract where an actor stops playing the character and then that character's gone, that's kind of hard for old school comic book heads or anybody who's read comics for any period of time, where you're just like, well, yeah, Tony Stark's not dead. I mean, we've done 3 or 4 story arcs where Tony stops being Iron Man, but then he comes back, right? So that's
But
that's
it's
where
also
it gets
a
tough.
little different here because we have Marvel has unroadied T'Challa, and they're like, we're not recasting Black Panther,
Yeah.
and we've moved on to Shuri. But in the comics, Shuri is not the Black Panther, and T'Challa's still alive.
Right.
So I mean, it's dodgy what they get to do to just kind of keep the characters alive, keep the essence of the characters alive. So yeah, there's a lot that could go on with characters that aren't dead or people have whatever attachment to. I like the progression of moving on to Sam from Steve as Captain America. In fact, I was questioning if they were going to make Bucky Captain America for a while before making Sam, following that arc.
Ooh, yes.
I think we all-
Following that storyline, yeah.
It's
But-
an interesting thing because like nobody questions James Bond being recast every so
I was
often.
just
Unless
about to
they
bring
put
that up, Lee.
Idris Elba's name in the mix, and they're like, "Oh no, he can't be black."
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
great.
I saw a thing that Henry Golding's name is the current front runner, and
Yeah.
people are gonna be mad because he's Asian.
See, and I feel that Black Panther T'Challa is such an important character in the Marvel universe that they should recast him.
Yeah.
I kind of like I'm mixed on this one because I like the fact that they're respecting what Boseman did.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they're like, these things move on because we saw that with T'Chaka Dad, we
Yeah.
knew that he was Black Panther. The mantle passed on to T'Challa. It's now passed on to Shuri. And I like seeing that. And I think that as a company, DC has done slightly better with legacy. Of moving on the mantle of a character from, like Jake Eric to Barry Allen to Wally West
Yeah.
and on down the line for like The Flash, for example. And Marvel's always had this thing like, oh, we've got this character. Oh, we're bringing him back. We got this character that's moved on. Oh, we're bringing him back again too. So
Well-
I'm hoping that the movies keep more in line with that character has had their time in the sun. We've moved on.
Yeah, and two things. One, you can always do a reboot later on and just start the characters over,
Sure.
just like they do in the comics. And secondly, I like what you said about the Flash. However, they have also just convoluted that character's mantle so crazily that there's like 5 different Flashes running around at any given time. Jay Garrick
Speed
still
Force, go
operates.
figure.
Jay Garrick operates sometimes still, and then you got Barry and Wally and
Wallace
and Bart. You know, and they all go by the Flash most of the time, and they wear the red suit at different times. But regardless, with Black Panther, Carrie brought up a good point. They already have established canon for a reason for the man to move on. So they definitely could do that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Let's move on. Oh, now here's something that I think that Rebecca will be all for.
What do we got here? Are we supposed to open our mind? Open your mind.
I'm so glad he got cast in a movie where he doesn't need any makeup.
That's right.
Whoa! Boom, got him.
Jeremy Allen White is Rotta the Hutt. Yes,
Is that confirmed?
He's gonna sell Grogu cigarettes.
Yep.
So they're just using him for his voice then? Huh.
Yeah, it's just a voice thing. Sadly,
not his abs.
I wanted him to.
His muscles.
I wanted him in a costume or something, but yeah, he's just
using me for my voice.
Yeah. So Rotta the Hutt, son of Jabba the Hutt, the character from the Clone Wars in 2008, in The Mandalorian and Grogu. So
Is Harvey Firestein going to come in and play Zero the Hutt?
I certainly hope so. I'm Zero the Hutt.
Such a wildly offensive character.
That's right. No, does Rotta speak English or Huttese?
He was a baby. I don't think he spoke anything.
Oh,
Spoke
okay.
baby.
Yeah. He speaks,
So-
I've been kidnapped.
I think he's pretend and he doesn't really speak at all.
Jeez,
Well
Killjoy.
played.
I know, right?
Commander
I
Frost.
just can't wait for Rotta to get locked in the walk-in because he's such an insufferable bastard. No one wants to work with him.
Tuba behind.
Tuba burn to steak.
Herd chef.
Order up. All right. Anyway, let's close with some comic book news, and then we'll get to finding out what you guys consumed this week. This looks fun. Marvel Comics 6-issue Godzilla versus Marvel is going to take place.
Why is Steve throwing a shield at Godzilla? Like that's going to do shit.
It might.
That's just what he does, man.
That's,
Hey,
yeah,
Lee.
that's what he did. Like have shield, throw shield. That's what he does.
Simple.
Lee,
That's
have
why you
you
leave Steve at home.
have you watched Godzilla -1 yet?
I was going to watch it last week, but I want to watch it this week.
Oh, okay.
He's saving it for this week.
Sure.
This will be, appearing in Godzilla versus Marvel series of one-shots. So you're going to get Fantastic Four, Hulk, Spider-Man, X-Men, and Thor. We expect full reports, Rob.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm just looking like, okay, Hulk makes sense. Iron Man makes sense. Thor, Storm, that makes sense.
Thing makes sense.
Scarlet Witch makes sense.
Human Torch.
Steve,
Captain Marvel? Yeah.
this is why Hulk and Thor weren't in the fight in the airport, right? Because they fight Godzilla.
they were fighting
don't-
Godzilla.
Yeah.
What about Daredevil? He should fight Godzilla.
Yes, yes he should. Yes he should, because he's going to hear him come in and just be like,
Nope.
"Oh shit."
I'm out.
Yeah.
The 6 comics will take over different time periods, with the first issue bowing in March. Godzilla versus the Fantastic Four will center on the FF battling King Ghidorah, who has been imbued with the power cosmic and has a new and is the new herald for Galactus.
That sounds bad.
There is only one Marvel matchup I want to see with Godzilla, and that's Fing Fang Foom.
But listen, Godzilla is going to team up with the Silver Surfer in order to save Earth.
Okay,
I mean, that makes sense.
okay. So when you started this off, I was like, Whiskey Tango. But now that it's like, picking and choosing who fights whom, when, and where, I am now more interested. Because at first I saw this, I'm just like, they saw Justice League versus Kong versus Godzilla and said, we can do that too.
What if Godzilla eats Galactus and he gets the power?
It becomes
cosmic?
Galactus.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
I want to see him in that helmet.
What if Fing Fang Foom then eats Galactus Godzilla and sorry.
Now, see, I didn't realize this because I used to read this comic. It's been 50 years that the Godzilla King of the Monsters comic, 77 to 79.
Wow.
Wow, 50 years ago. I used to read that. I love that comic.
They had paper back then?
Was it on a stone tablet?
It was called papyrus, I'll have you know.
Okay, so Tony, what you don't understand, yes, we did have paper, but everything was in black and white.
I see.
Was it a wax tablet?
Yeah, our lives did not become color until the mid-70s.
Speak for yourself.
See, I was expecting...
Yo.
All right, let's find out what you consumed this week. Who wants to go?
You missed a vital news story this week.
What?
Malcolm in the Middle revival coming back. Disney Plus. Yes. Can't wait. It's going to have Bryan Cranston and Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, but Frankie Muniz, they're like, hey, you want to do Malcolm in the Middle? And he said, what's that?
What's that?
Yeah, for real. He does not remember a single thing.
And it's going to have Jane Kaczmarek.
Kaczmarek.
There you go. You got it.
I'm excited. I love Malcolm in the Middle. I think is one of the most underrated sitcoms ever.
I watched it every week. But
So
I think it's only 4 episodes they're doing is all, right?
Well, I'll take whatever I can get.
I hope so. I'm such a buzzkill about this kind of thing. I stop doing this. Stop
kind
bringing
of thing?
things
What do
back.
you mean, this
I
kind
just
of thing?
muted her because I don't want to hear that nonsense. Stop doing the things Tony likes.
Let's hear the reason.
I unmuted.
No, I think there's so much original content to be had, and we should just give it a shot instead of going back to the money generating machine.
So what if you go back to something that never generated money, like Scrubs?
But guess what? Guess what? Bill Lawrence is working on a Scrubs reboot.
I know. That's why I'm saying that. And what
Wait a
if
minute.
what if the first episode of the new Scrubs is Harrison Ford's character from shrinking going into the hospital to get some help with something?
No, it's going to be JD and Turk talking about how much they love T-Mobile.
This sure sounds different than what your response was to Happy Endings Zoom call episode that was bringing back.
That's so different. Everybody did that during quarantine.
But
Everybody
if they were
did
bringing
it.
back Happy Endings, you would be on board 100%.
I don't think I would. I am so very
Come
firmly
on
like let
now.
dead things be dead.
Unless it's Scrubs.
She is. You're a little too young to be anti-nostalgia, I think.
I'm 35. I
party
think I have
pooper.
lived a life. Here's the thing. I'm a 35-year-old millennial. I have lived 8 lifetimes.
No shit. Gen X
Timey
lived 8
wimey,
lifetimes by the time we
timey-wimey,
were
Terry.
20.
I guess. Okay, thanks, Rob.
No problem.
I didn't understand. So, all right, let's.
I'll jump in because I'll go for the comic chat really quick.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll just be really easy. So I'll start with comics and do my normal thing a little backwards this time. And it's really short for comics this week. It's been one of those weeks. But we'll start with, this came out actually last month, and I just got the first 2 issues. FML by Kelly Sue DeConnick and David Lopez.
Oh.
What's this about?
You've all been teenagers at some point, and some of you have been
I don't
parents or at
remember.
least adults. And this is a story kind of like life just kind of happens, and it's kind of like dealing with life as it is. And the first issue deals with one of the younger characters, just, day in the life, trying to get through middle school, trying to deal with the parents, trying to deal with the teachers, and a thing happens. Second issue is a direct follow-up with that character's mother, who was kind of a badass in her teen and 20 years, but now she's parent and dealing with life and dealing with all these other things, and now dealing with or not dealing with what just happened to their kid in the previous issue. But there's a thing I'm going to have to paraphrase this, a quote in both issues that's kind of like your brain finds ways to cope with all the things going on around you. And that is a great encapsulation of what these issues and what this story is about, is how do you cope with just life around you as it goes on and just your day to day. And this is set in Portland. It's also set in Portland during apparently a really bad, I'm assuming a wildfire season, because they don't explain these fires going on around Portland at the time.
That's just August in Oregon now.
Just August. Thank you for clearing that up for me.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic.
Well,
Next
Kelly Sue DeConnick, I trust her. So
Yeah, no, and she's doing. It's a great job. I mean, the first 2 issues are great reads. If you haven't picked them up, definitely do. I was late to the party on this one, but definitely a good read. Now, a little bit of fun. It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 1.
There you go.
This is a prequel to the Disney series that's coming up. They also introduce a character that some people will be familiar with from either A-Force or Runaways, Niku Minoru,
Oh,
the magic
This is
user.
the magic one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. It's fun, lighthearted book. I'm not sure if it's a one-shot or not, but it is a fun look at it's a retelling kind of also of the origin of Spider-Man, and they super simplify it to make it easy and accessible. And this is written by I believe it's Christos Gage. Yes, Christos Gage.
Good writer. Yeah.
And fun read. And it just kind of starts off with Peter going like, I'm not going to say how did I wind up here, because I know exactly how I wound up here, as he's fighting somebody first 2 panels, and you're just like, I'm in. This is good. And then for Carrie, and others of a certain age, Space Ghost. He kind of finds out he's tracking the people that killed his family.
Oh,
There's a little bit of angst involved in this. But not only do I get that out of the story, there were 2 things in this issue that were ads, and I'm just going to yes, you've got me hooked, because they're bringing back the Herculoids in February.
The Herculoids, yay.
What's a Herculoid?
I hated the Herculoids
It's
so
an
much.
old
We don't want to
Hanna-
hear that, Lee. This is a positive show. Stop it.
It's an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, Tony, and it was.
But they're also
it was
bringing back
kind
a
of fun.
Silverhawks title as well.
Let's just focus on Sideman. He was the only good character.
But let's see. Other stuff I've read. I'm still continuing my read of Sailor and the Seas of Fate. For Michael Moorcock, book 2 of the Elric series. Lower Decks this week was a fun touch on so many series of Star Trek and so many, subplots and sub-storylines. Just like, and the way that they brought so many characters that I did not expect to see together.
From so many shows that Rebecca hasn't
shows,
watched yet.
and they worked. And the thing was, they worked.
I think they hit on besides the original series, every series had a character represented in the
Yeah, I
last
think you're right.
episode.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's also
And
just
Discovery.
fun.
And Discovery, yeah.
Yeah. Or Stranger Worlds, but that's another story.
Never mind my...
No,
I was
I
wrong.
seriously, as I
Get
was
it.
watching this episode, I was like, I can't wait for Rebecca to know who these characters are. Like, and not-
Someday.
like, I'm so excited for you to go back and rewatch Lower Decks after all this.
Yes.
Yep.
And I was watching it with my kids, and they're just kind of like, I'm sitting there just like giddy on the couches, and new characters are popping up, and they're just kind of looking at me like, are you having a stroke? Because I was just having so much fun seeing so many characters, and especially one that I never thought they were going to ever bring back ever again. And I was like, who's that? Because it sounds like, and that was the other thing, the voice casting for this episode. All of the actors for all of the characters. I'm just kind of like, thank you. I didn't know I needed that.
I realized a couple episodes earlier when a certain Next Gen actor showed up to reprise a character that he doesn't play very often. And I was like, oh, well, the door's open. Animation can do anything.
Yes. And I'm so delighted that they're doing it, because I mean, it was, like I said, I didn't know I needed to hear these voices again.
Yeah.
But getting to do it was just like, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Also finding out that one particular character ended up becoming part of a proto-federation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arcane. Season 2. I was 2 episodes away from the end of season 2. I'm sorry, I was 4 episodes away when my youngest daughter started watching it with me. We get to the third from the end, and she's like, wait a minute, I don't understand. So I have started Arcane over with the kids, and we've been going through and watching. So we are now in season 2 again. I think we just finished episode 4, and she's putting pieces together of characters that she saw in those the first time through on season 2, what their histories are and their backgrounds are, and watching as she's making those connections is delightful. Because she's like, was that character that we saw flashed here? It's like, you'll have to watch and find out. Now she's just like looking at me like, why could you have told me? I'm like, you had to follow the story. It's okay.
It's more fun when you follow
It is
the
more
story.
fun this way. Did not watch any movies this week, but tonight I believe is a double bill of 2 of the household favorites, Muppet Christmas Carol and Die Hard. And I don't want any arguments about it not being a Christmas movie.
There you go.
Period. Full stop.
Christmas is whatever you want it to be.
Christmas is Bruce Willis crawling through vents.
I
Christmas is
Batman
in your
Returns.
I firmly believe that any Shane Black movie is a Christmas movie.
Yep.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
It's definitely a Christmas movie.
Kiss,
Rebecca-
kiss, bang, bang.
Rebecca, I want you to go next because I want to hear about Kraven the Hunter.
I bet you do.
I do.
I listen, you guys. I've been watching so many dang movies that my brain is fried. But I'm only going to talk about what's in theaters right now. So first, I'm legally required to talk about the movie Queer, starring Daniel Craig, directed by Luca Guadagnino. I even phonetically wrote it out. Luca Guadagnino, the director behind Challengers and Call Me by Your Name. Queer is an adaptation of a William S. Burroughs novel of the same name, and Daniel Craig plays a guy. It takes place in 1950s Mexico, and he plays a man infatuated with a younger man, and they go on a search for a plant that has like some magical properties. It's weird. Listen, this movie's weird, but
It's Burroughs. It's
Burroughs. So it's weird. But Luca Guadagnino is an astounding director, and I think I love everything that he's ever done. The music by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, also fantastic. Some awesome anachronistic use of Nirvana songs. Really enjoyed that. And Daniel Craig, just an amazing performer in everything that he does, including this. I think he's going to be a top contender for some Best Actor categories because of this movie. So
Could be.
So is he playing Burroughs or is he playing a Burroughs analog?
Well,
he's playing a Burroughs analog.
most of Burroughs' stuff was a Burroughs analog.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, there's a reason why he was in Mexico in the 50s.
Looking for magical plants, duh.
No,
Never
it's
magical plant with telepathic properties.
It's when you do a little magic trick with your wife that involves live rounds in a bottle of whiskey,
You shoot the whiskey.
and sometimes you miss and kill your wife.
Oopsies.
Accidentally.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Also in theaters, I briefly mentioned it last week, but I hadn't seen it, but I've seen it now. Y2K, New Year's Eve, 1999, group of teenagers at a house party, and they gotta fight for their lives as Y2K becomes a reality and the machines rise up.
is it delicious? Is it delicious?
It's fun. If you were a youth in the late 90s, early 2000s, you'll enjoy this. It's dripping with nostalgia, like specifically
sold.
geared at us, right?
Sold.
What if I was a 31-year-old craps dealer at a Native American casino in Darkest Oregon?
Sure.
There was a black guy in Utah who'd just been here for like a year and a half.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. There's quite a bit of diversity in this movie.
What?
But
Does the black guy die first?
No.
Second?
I don't think there is a black guy in this movie, actually.
So much for your diversity, your so-called diversity.
They have
in this.
other ethnicities peppered throughout this movie.
They got white, they got light white, darker white, medium white.
Tim Heidecker's there.
Is there an Italian? Because then they're spicy white.
Spicy white.
It is more of a stoner comedy than I was expecting, which I'm totally fine with. Give me
That's
more.
what I got from the trailer.
I didn't expect it to be such a stoner comedy, but it quite is. Kyle Mooney, I think, is hilarious. Like I said, it is dripping with nostalgia, but also gore. It is quite gory once it gets going. Overall, a bit weak in the story, but let's be honest, we're not seeing this for the story.
Yeah, I'm watching for the gags.
Yep.
And it's gag heavy, baby. And it's fun. It was fun. I had a fun time at the movies.
Nice.
Craven. You guys ready to talk about Craven? I went and I saw Craven. Listen, I didn't hate this.
What? I can never peg
Rebecca.
I can
You
never peg
realize
your tastes all
By
the way.
saying that she didn't hate it, she's not saying she liked it.
Listen, okay, you guys. When Russell Crowe read the Gladiator script, he said, "Your lines are garbage, but I'm the greatest actor in the world, and I can make even garbage sound good."
Boy, give me a phone. I have to throw it at someone.
Anyway, everyone is just fine in this. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think, is barely in it for being the title
I was gonna
character.
say, it's his movie.
Yeah,
Is this a Beetlejuice situation?
I feel like he's barely in it. Ariana DeBose, she wears the hell out of her wardrobe that she's given. Christopher Abbott, who I did not know was in this movie, plays a character who is the coolest I think anybody has looked on screen in a comic book movie in a while. He plays
Rhino?
No. The guy who plays the Rhino, though, he was having fun. You could tell he was having fun
Yeah.
doing it.
That's why he's the second best after Giamatti.
Yeah.
And then Russell Crowe was also there.
Did he have his accent from Thor: Love and Thunder?
I wish.
No, he's more Russian.
Okay.
Russian in this one. Spoiler alert: Aaron Taylor Johnson only takes his shirt off twice.
What?
Yeah,
Boy.
one at the beginning and one at the end. So
I
you
haven't
have
seen
to
a
like
sing-
you have to like stick around.
I haven't seen a single picture of that guy where his shirt wasn't off.
Quicksilver?
Yeah.
He's wearing vests and well fitted shirts for the rest of the movie, and also his brow was furrowed for most of the time he's on screen.
Classic Craven.
Listen,
elf.
as far as these Sony movies go, it wasn't bad. It
will be the last
Yeah,
of the
I don't-
Spider-Man adjacent.
which sucks because I would watch a sequel to this.
But do you
Wow.
need a sequel to this?
And also, you're telling me this man is a Spider-Man villain? This man who goes after poachers and bad guys is a Spider-Man villain?
Not in the
So
comics.
he doesn't go after poachers in the comics. He's
kind
he's
of a
like the
poacher.
world's greatest hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've taken the origin, just been like, we're just going to twist these things and pull out what we want from it and call this good. And does he or does he not have some sort of superpower in this movie?
Yes, he does.
Oh, the quote spider bite sequence is something magical. It feels like a CD-ROM loading screen from the 90s.
This whole thing feels
So-
like a trap.
So the first 8 minutes are on YouTube. You can watch the first 8 minutes, and it's
It's a prison escape.
it's
Yeah.
a prison escape, whatever. And then the next 20 to 30 minutes after that are back when he's a youth and he has the incident, the quote incident, right? And it's nonsense, you guys. But that's what I love about these movies. It's just silly. What are we even doing? But then, so it's the whole spider bite sequence, and he's got lion powers or whatever. And then it flashes back forward to the future, and he's killing poachers. My brain went, oh, maybe I do like this. And I spent the next hour and a half being like, I don't hate this movie. Listen, it's not good, but none of these movies are. And it's, I think everyone's doing their best. I think everyone's having a great time.
Rick in the chat room said he had low, and I think by low he means no expectations
Yeah.
going in, and he enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like, I would watch it again. The Sony man was right. I would go watch it again.
Here's the thing: if you give Sony hope that their
Don't.
stuff is any good, they're gonna keep going.
Listen, Sony, they just said recently that Morbius was actually profitable for them. And I was like, hey, maybe put it back in theaters again. Prove it.
Prove it.
Third time's a charm.
I would watch a triple feature of Morbius, Madam Web, and Craven.
Be careful what you wish for.
Wow.
That sounds like such a fun day for me.
My.
All right.
Wow.
Life is precious.
Now, I know you saw Nosferatu, but you can't talk about it yet, right?
I could. I was going to wait until it gets closer to the actual release date, unless you guys want me to talk about
No,
it now.
we could talk about it next week. That's
Okay, yeah.
fine. That's when it opens. We'll do that then. All right. Let's see. Who's next?
I can go.
Lee wants to go.
Before I say what's on my list, my wife says my handwriting's too small.
Yes.
That is pretty small, dude.
Is my handwriting too small? Because I don't know. Okay, so
Writing for ants.
yeah. So I've come to a really liberating conclusion about Skeleton Crew. It's actually set me free. I'm really glad it's there. It's just not for me. And that's all there is
That's
to it.
fine.
It's great. It is fantastic. I can actually look at this and say, this is great. I think it's fantastic. I think it's wonderful. If I was 10 years old right now, this would be my favorite thing in the world. Like, I am so glad there's a whole generation of kids out there that get to discover Star Wars through Skeleton Crew. It's just not for me, and that's
Let me
okay.
tell you, Lee,
Yeah.
if the rest of the internet had that attitude for media in general, it
Yeah.
would be a lot nicer of a place.
I'm kind of trying, unless it's absolute dog shit, I'm trying to adopt that as my mantra, is that we need to celebrate media because the fact that it exists is something of a miracle.
Yeah.
And so cool, these are the stories and the threads of mythology that bring us all together. Carrie and I became friends because of our love of Star Trek and Star Wars. So
What
like
drove you apart?
what drove us apart? Well, it's
Rebecca's
because
in the middle right now.
Oh, I can here.
Driving them apart.
Hi, buddy.
Okay, how you doing?
buddy.
So it's like, God, I think about like, Rob, your kids would probably love this show, right? Are they watching it?
Have not started it yet.
Yeah.
Here's a question. So let me try to gauge this.
Yeah.
They were I think the Prodigy and Lower Decks is what got them into Star Trek, or is what their takes into Star Trek. Is this Star Wars Prodigy, for lack of a way of putting it,
Pretty
to some
much.
degree?
Yeah.
All the way down, all the
Okay,
way to
great.
them finding a spaceship and taking it. Yeah.
Okay. Do we
yeah.
ever figure out what Cyclops Girl's powers are yet?
She doesn't. Yeah, it's not even. It's just there.
Oh, okay.
She takes it off all the time. Like,
I think
And
it's. I
nothing
think it's
happens?
a. I mean, listen, I'm an episode behind, but I really think it's a like a social anxiety kind of thing because she
It
takes
could
it off
be.
when she's
But-
with Fern, but when she's around in
but it-
unusual
but it-
circumstances,
It also has like
Yeah.
usages.
It's
Because
a
she
Google,
Yeah.
she plugged it into the ship at one point.
it's a Google
so-
it's a Google Glass, but I mean, it's like
Gotcha.
it's like Treasure Island and Prodigy mixed together.
Okay.
And it's cool. Like and like, I can't besmirch its existence. It's really awesome.
I'll see if I can give it a shot
yeah.
with them this weekend.
Yeah, it's like the strangest recommendation of something that I currently don't really have any interest in. So
You gonna finish it?
eventually, like, it's not on my
curious.
must watch list, right? So it's and that's fine, because when my wife and I sit down to watch a show, we're like, what do we want to watch? And both of us watched this and went, it's fine. This is great. This is wonderful. Just not for us. So Creature Commandos, a show that's not for her, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah, Creature Commandos.
Yeah, cheers for the Tin Man.
I haven't watched the latest episode. I hear it's all about GI Robot,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, that and a comic book that is not Nick Fury that I used to read at the spinner rack at Smith's when my mom did her grocery shopping when I was 9, is pretty heavily featured in this last episode.
Nice.
So, Babylon 5, I finally said, you know what? All these people keep telling me I need to watch Babylon 5 because it's the greatest science fiction of all time. Stop telling me that.
Oh, I'm with you, Lee. I'm with you.
It's like, okay, it's okay. It's community theater.
what's wrong with community theater?
Nothing.
Uh-oh.
Nothing.
Shots fired.
But it's just one of those things that it's like, it's community theater. They're doing the best job that the community theater actors can do.
How far into it are you? And I have a reason for asking this. How far
Okay.
into it are you? Or
Those
did you get?
those special effects have aged like cheese, and at this point, I don't want to consume either. So it's,
You got a couple episodes in?
yeah, I made it about 1.5 episodes in, and I
You
said I
legally
need to burn this
can't-
like hot fire.
You gotta get past. That's the rule of shows, though. You gotta get at least 5 episodes.
But I have to have
Oh, I
a
see
character.
3.
I have to have a character I like, or something that I can relate to, or something that doesn't make me want to just walk away. Like, I mean, I wandered away from the TV at one point because I was like, I can just listen to this, and then at some point, and for you folks that love the show, I'm so happy for you. But I just can't. I just can't. Life
I
is
didn't
short.
love the show. I did enjoy it,
Yeah,
but I mean, it definitely took a little while for it to get its legs under it.
but my
And I'm not
entire,
saying that you need to do that.
the majority of my adult life has been, oh, you like DS9? Here's a show that was better. And I just want to say,
Oh.
no.
Yeah.
It's
The same but
I'm
different.
sure it's great. I'm sure it's great, but whatever. I've been reading The Peripheral because I liked the show, love the book.
Nice.
Really, really good.
Gibson.
Every year we watch Doctor Who Christmas specials because nothing says the holidays like Doctor Who. And the last thing is I have to bump this last episode of Lower Decks up into probably one of my top 10 Star Trek episodes of all time.
Super good.
Wow.
Yeah. it's just really good Star Trek, and it's also really funny Star Trek. And
Yes.
like Rob said, characters I was not ever expecting to see in Star Trek ever again, and there they are. And to one point where, like you said, I was like, "Is that?
Yeah.
It is." So,
And it was
yeah.
so bizarre to see the names pop up on the credits. You're just like, yay. Literally, you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm delighted to see this person came back to this, much like the unification video,
Right.
bringing some people back.
Yeah, and ever since, like I said, going back a couple episodes to Purple D, for those of you that know, I realized that the full potential of animated Star Trek is barely being scratched, and now it's almost over. So,
Watching that 2 episodes ago, Purple D, though, you realize how old some people sound sometimes.
oh my gosh, that guy needs a nap so bad. And I like hearing him needing a nap made me realize how badly I needed a nap. So I understand. So, but great TV out there right now. I mean, we're embarrassed by so much wealth and wonder and good stuff. So, yeah.
All right, Tony.
A lot of the same stuff you guys been watching, I've been loving as well. Shout out to finally getting around to What We Do in the Shadows season 5. Oh man,
Finished
it's so
it up?
good. Not quite. I'm on episode 7 or 8, I think.
Oh, I
And,
finished it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched the episode where Nandor gets fired from being the janitor at Canon Financials. It's so funny. Fantastic show. Documentaries. We started Glitter and Greed, the Lisa Frank documentary. It's if you were a big fan of the Lisa Frank stuff back in the day, if you were a young girl of a certain age in the 90s, then this will be pretty interesting for you, I think. But if you don't care about the Lisa Frank stuff, you're watching it thinking, yeah, people that started a business that grew really fast and then treated their employees like crap, things went bad. That's
Stories.
corporate
Say la vie.
America, But
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. And then what's the Ghosts? We caught up on Ghosts on Paramount. That show's just a lot of fun. If you like funny shows with some supernatural flavor, highly recommend that. And last but not least, I've got a couple issues left in the entire run of Absolute Power on the DC app. So they have an option where you can just read the 6, main issues, or they have everything broken down into all the side issues and stuff. And so I'm doing the whole thing. And I'm loving it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, so I think there's like 30 some odd issues in total, and I think I'm on like 25 or 26, so I've got 5 or 6 more to go. And it's really cool. This is a problem with the app, not with the story, but they didn't put everything in quite the right order as you're reading it. So I read one and I was like, holy cow, this is a lot of stuff that I feel like I should know about. And then the next 2 issues are side issues in Batman and in like Superman, where it explains how they got to the stuff 2 issues ago. And I'm just like, oh, so close. But anyway, yeah, Absolute Power. Really cool. Really cool.
Cool. All right. Let me just say this about Creature Commandos episode 3. I said it before the show started, and now it has been confirmed. This is a character I didn't know I needed until I got him, and now I realize I need him every day of my life.
Which probably made that episode really hard.
Yes, GI Robot is just... That was such a good episode, and if this is what James Gunn has in mind, I'm in. I'll become a DC fan.
What would you like more than anything, Geo Robot? Oh, to be reunited with my boys and to kill Nazis.
Yes. I was disappointed that you weren't here, but I was happy to see that you were here, but I was disappointed that I was unable to kill Nazis. Just such a great episode. The origin of G.I. Robot. I just loved it, and I want more of him, and I need him every day. Lower Decks, agree with y'all. Terrific. There is a Skeleton Crew, episode 3. Totally, I'm in. I'm totally in.
Awesome.
I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Rebecca, I am 35 minutes into Joker 2.
Okay. And?
And I'm not hating it.
Oh, it's the old I'm not hating it story again.
I'm not hating it.
Okay. I cannot wait for you to finish it.
There's some stuff in there that I went, oh,
Like what? Like what?
Well, the way he autographed the guy's book, first of all, I thought that was brilliant.
That was good. That was good.
Anyway, but I'm going to try to, small bites. I'll get there. But the show that I'm recommending this week is one that my wife turned me on to, and it is on Netflix, and it stars Keira Knightley, and it's called Black Doves.
I hear
want to
this
watch
show
this.
is so good.
Yeah.
You were talking about James Bond earlier, and I went, Keira Knightley should be the new James Bond.
Whoa.
Jamie
She would
Bond.
be
Yes.
great.
No,
Yes.
And I would-
Lashana
and I-
Lynch.
I would bring up to people who bring up like Pirates of the Caribbean and some stuff that she did in the early 2000s and say, well, she's not that good of an actress. She was also 16.
Go
And,
take a look at this show.
yeah.
She was fine in Pirates.
She's great.
Yeah, go take a look at this show. She goes from happy housewife to menacing, gonna kill you in seconds, and is just totally believable in both parts.
Man, I
And-
lived that life.
And the fight sequences where she's in them, just terrific. I just really enjoyed this. It's about a woman who is part of some sort of mysterious group. I'm only a few episodes in. Mysterious group. They don't work for any country. They just gather information and sell it to the highest bidder.
I
information
heard another
brokers.
podcast call it like a Black Widow-y type.
That's what I was thinking of. I thought she was working for the Russians because that's one of the languages she speaks, but as it's explained by the woman who played Julia Child in the Julia Child TV series, we don't work for any country. We just gather information and sell it to the highest bidder. And so Keira Knightley,
For the almighty dollar.
Keira Knightley is playing a spy who is deep in. She's been in this for 15 years, married to a guy for 10, had his children.
Whoa.
And he's a chancellor in the British government, and he's got all this information that she keeps getting and forwarding. But that's how
Wow.
deep in this spy network goes. So anyway, yeah, terrific show. Enjoy. Games?
Nope.
Nope.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What are you going to bring up?
Marvel Rivals.
That's been out for like 2 weeks, man.
I just started it this week, so
Yeah,
it's
good.
new to him.
Okay.
give me a break. It's NetEase, is that the company? I think NetEase Games.
I think so. Yeah.
It's their, I don't want to call it Overwatch killer, but
they're
Overwatch
going
adjacent ish game. You know, it's you get to play your Marvel characters in a 6-on-6 battle group. You know, and it's the different, you know, the escort missions, the capture the flag kind of style missions, or the capture the zone kind of missions. It's not perfect, but it is fun. It's available on console, PC. You don't need the latest, greatest console to be able to play it necessarily. I think that Carrie should be able to play it on his, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Nope.
My
Nope.
jaded.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
it's only PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC.
My jaded hates everything currently related to Marvel and Disney and blah blah blah. 28-year-old loves this.
It's got a lot of good stuff to build on.
Yeah.
It does, and it's fun that they're playing with some of the. It is a little multiversal, so there's, you know, we're playing with this aspect of this thing from comics or this from movies. There's different variations of characters that are introduced, but it's and Jeff the Shark for the Fugels. Yeah, Jeff is Jeff, and you wouldn't think that a combat game like this would be a Jeff kind of thing. Jeff is hilarious in this game.
And Moon Knight does talk to himself.
And
Oh,
Moon
good.
Knight does talk to himself.
It launched with 33 playable
characters,
which is
yeah.
wild.
And it's not a big microtransaction game either. Like,
No,
yeah.
it's which is great. If you played Overwatch, you know exactly why I'm going to complain here,
Yeah,
because
loot
Overwatch
boxes
was
and
like,
junk.
"Oh, hi, would you like another skin? That'll be $45, please."
All right.
Says the guy who plays Star Citizen.
I like my spaceships, Tony.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. We're going to head over to the after party now. If you're a Patreon member, you can certainly join us. GeekShowGotThisCovered.com is the direct link to our Patreon account. We're headed over there now. So live long and prosper, bitches.